Hi, everybody. Todd Dammit Kearns here from Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. Took Heroes and Monsters. You're watching CMS TV.
It's Axel Rudy Pell right here on your classic metal show featuring Johnny Gioli on lead vocal with Fly to the Moon in a Chinese balloon. And kicking off the show tonight, we heard something from Ed Guy, Superheroes. And coming up to the mic is one half of the superhero duo, my good friend and partner, Chris Aiken. What's going on there, Chris?
What is up, sir? How we doing?
We're back and ready to rock.
Yes, sir.
So here we are. And what do you got going on there behind you? Where are you at a big festival tonight?
Yeah, that's it. I'm checking in from one of the big festivals.
Reporting live from Europe.
That's
it's Chris
right.
Aiken at the Metallifest.
Yeah, I'm at Rock Am Ring here, Neeley. I don't know if you realized that was going on tonight, but here I am.
Yeah, there you go. Are there any slap fests going on over there?
Not yet. I can't wait till the power slap comes here, though. That I will go to see that.
I'm sure you will.
I can't stop watching it.
I know. So I heard you're not the only one. One of my coworkers, his son, who is of college age, he and his friends stay up late in the dorm watching the what is it called? Power
slap. Yeah.
Power slap. Yeah.
It's on Wednesdays at 10:00 on TBS.
Power slap. So have you watched every one of them so far?
Every single one that they put out.
Every single one of them. I have it on constant loop on my TV.
Well, it comes on right after wrestling on the same channel as the wrestling. So it's great. The wrestling ends and they go right into slapping the shit out of each other. It's fantastic.
Yeah. How long does that last? How long does a show last?
It's an hour.
It's an hour.
It's an hour. It's kind of, it's sort of reality. It's like Big Brother meets sport because they've got them all living in a house, like establishing their rank and training them. It's almost, remember the Ultimate Fighter that UFC used to do where they would kind of put them all in a house and then they would train them how to fight.
Right.
Same thing. Only they're training them how to slap the shit out of each other.
All right. This is how you do it. You stand up there, put your face forward and let them crack you across the jaw.
Oh, there's a lot more to it than that, man. There's tons. They've got all kinds of different equipment, slap equipment that measures your neck strength and your slap strength and your slap velocity.
Wow.
They got all kinds of shit going on this slap stuff.
Yeah. And how long do you think this will last?
Oh, man.
Do you think this will go for years, or do you think this will fizzle out after a while, or what do you think?
I think it might last. It's fun to watch, and it's been going for years, just not here in the States. So, in today's global world, if the cocksucking pussies that run TV in the United States do their thing, I think it'll just be on the internet. It'll be on like YouTube or whatever. I could care less. Fuck the networks. I'll watch it on whatever it's on.
So you don't think it'll be like a mainstream thing? It'll be more kind of an underground thing?
I don't know. You know what, man? The success that UFC has had has changed my whole outlook on it.
Okay.
Back in the day, when you think about boxing, and then you had UFC where they could just beat the living hell out of each other, you did not expect to see UFC become mainstream. And not only did UFC become mainstream, but now there's like 10 other federations of UFC. There's Bellator, there's Pride, there's One, there's like a bunch of different UFC type things now. So this is already existing in other countries. And it's the only difference between like Russia. I've watched a bunch of Russian stuff.
Okay.
And the only real difference between the Russian stuff and the US stuff is there's like more rules. It's more safe in the US, if you can believe that there's a safety concern here from what you saw. But, in in here, they can't wind up. They can't move their feet. They have to hold this thing behind them. They got a guy to catch them if they get knocked the fuck out. You know, they don't just go straight to the ground. If you watch some of the Russian, well, like the one that we showed, you know, 2 weeks ago or whatever,
2 weeks ago.
Those guys were winding up and just blasting away with their legs and their arms and everything and knocking the living hell out of each other. So, you know, I mean, honestly, the Russian game is a little better because they're just more brutal. I mean, they're going to kill people, but
we live in more of a litigious society. I don't think you see too many lawsuits going on in Russia.
No, I think Vladimir Putin will put a quick end to that.
That's what I'm saying. So they don't have the litigation in Russia that we have here in the US. So of course there's rules and safety and all kinds of stuff. But over in Russia, if you die, and that's it. Yeah. They don't have any value on life over there.
No. If he dies, he dies. From remembering Rocky.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And well, you know, the only thing different for me personally, just from a perspective, UFC is a little bit different because you use your hands, you use your legs, you use your fists, you use things, and slapping is just one thing. You just have one hand and one face, and that's it.
Yeah.
But see, with UFC, you got skills, you know, you got guys who can, you know, box, you guys do, extreme fighting. You could sweep the leg. You could, you know, get them in a headlock. You could do, you know, all kinds of things, you know, and that makes it a little more exciting. I can understand the longevity of that, but just standing at a podium and getting your face slapped, it's just,
I don't know. It's pretty exciting to me. I love it. I sit there.
It's new.
Yeah, and that could be it too. I will check in a year and see if
that's what I'm kind of saying. I think it would. Yeah. I think it would have. I think it would have a shelf life after a while because it's like after you've seen so many brutal slaps, it's like okay, and they're done that. Now what?
Yeah, but I think there's always. I think in this game more than like even UFC or boxing or anything, you've always got the surprise element.
Okay,
you're gonna always have some guy that's never even budged. That's going to get the shit slapped out of him and get knocked the fuck out on the first slap. You're always going to have that kind of chaos where it's going to be less predictable. Like UFC, you know, and certain guys that come into UFC or Bellator or whatever, you just know they're going to win.
Okay.
You know, you just like in his heyday, you've heard of Chuck Liddell, I'm imagining,
yes, of
right?
Course. Yeah, of course.
In his heyday, no matter who he was fighting, you knew they were going down. You knew it before the cage opened.
Right.
You know, in this, I mean, dude, like the one guy that we were showing on a couple weeks ago, the little skinny black guy.
Yeah.
Who saw that guy having all kinds of ridiculous power? You know, he didn't look the part, but man, he came out and just slapped the living shit out of a guy that was like 50 pounds heavier than him.
Yeah, his arm is like a whip.
Yeah. And that's going to be what's going to be the difference, I think, is there's always going to be a shock value to this thing.
Right. But how many do you have to watch to see that one time that somebody gives you the shock value?
I don't know. I see a lot of it, even in these fights that they're having on the TV show every time. Like, I'm glad I'm not FanDueling this stuff because I'd be losing my ass. I cannot pick this sport yet. Every time I pick somebody, the other guy wins.
Right.
Every time. So, and I could totally see this. And this is another reason I think it could last. I can totally see this thing that is quick. I mean, a whole match is like 10 minutes. I could totally see this working on like FanDuel or with the gambling sites. You know, I can easily see them lining up 15 matches over 2 hours and taking in $10 million a book.
Sure.
Easy.
So,
you know,
so basically 1 hour's worth of this programming, you can get 5 to 7 matches.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, each match, well, let's think about it. Each match, they slap, one guy gets to slap and they got 30 seconds to recover and then 30 seconds to smack the other guy.
Okay.
So basically a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So each match is 6 minutes plus the intro. So about 10 minutes a match.
Okay. So about five matches with commercials and shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can make some money if you're playing the gambling line. You
Okay.
could certainly squeeze a lot in. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I'm there's something there. Is it going to last? I don't know, but it sure is a lot better than seeing some cocksucker kneeling on the sideline for the Super Bowl next week.
Who's in the Super Bowl anyway?
Philly and Chiefs.
Yeah,
Philly and the Chiefs.
That just goes to show I had no idea who even made the big game.
Well, how have you missed it? It's the first time ever 2 black quarterbacks are making it.
Oh, see, I wouldn't even know.
Celebrate that. Celebrate it.
And who are they?
Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
Okay. All right.
Wait a minute. You got to celebrate it.
I don't think so. Who cares?
If you're paying any attention to any kind of sport, you have to celebrate that there's 2 black quarterbacks that are in the Super Bowl in Black History Month. No, okay. I mean, come on.
All right.
It's historic.
Right.
At least that's what the NFL's pumping out.
Well, of course, political correctness is just overwhelmingly sickening.
Mm-hmm. And that is the narrative for this game. It's the evolution of the black man at the quarterback position.
Well, I thought there's been plenty of black quarterbacks over the years,
but we've never had 2 in the Super Bowl at the same time.
So what?
Well, you have to embrace that.
All right.
I'm hoping next year we can get 2 transgender quarterbacks in the Super Bowl because that's been missing.
Right, of course.
We need that.
Right. Speaking of that, I don't know if you probably didn't see it and probably don't even know anything about it. And the only reason I know about it is because I just happened to catch it. But I guess over in Europe somewhere, there's some, I don't know, some kind of sporting event, some skate event or something, and some transgender person who's like almost 50 years old was the opening skater person and they just failed miserably.
Oh, good.
It was just awful. It looked like a calf on ice. just wobbly and couldn't quite stand up, and got out in the middle of the rink while all the dancers were around,
right,
for the opening ceremonies, and they were supposed to be the one to be celebrated. And
sure,
it skated out there in the middle of barely skated out there to the middle of the ice, and then fell down and couldn't get up.
I haven't seen that, but that's awesome. I love that.
It's terrible. It was just like, Jesus Christ.
Nice.
It's like this quote unquote, the skater athlete, there's no reason in the world why they should have been on the ice. It's not like they excelled in their sport.
Not even as a fake woman?
No.
Mm.
This person, this thing is like, they said it was like 47 or 48 years old.
Oof. What's that even doing? I don't care, guy or girl. What are you doing out there 48?
Yeah, I know. Typically you see skaters, they're in their teens, maybe into their mid-20s at the latest.
Yeah, they're like washed up at 22.
And that's it. But this thing was 47 or 48 years old.
Yeah. I have a feeling we know how that got pushed through.
Well, I know. I understand the reason why it got pushed through, but it's like there's no reason for this. None. And the embarrassment of it was just, it's just like, well, you got what you paid for. I hope you enjoyed it.
That's funny. No, I did not see that. That's funny.
I'm sure we may find it later in the show.
Right.
But boy, oh boy.
All right. Kyle Warfield. I laughed my ass off when one guy is all big and bad and wham. That's the truth of that show. These guys come up, they're talking mad shit because they get the big intro, because it's a TV show.
Yeah, sure.
So these guys are all talking like, I've never been knocked out in my life, and I've kicked everybody's ass, and I was 12-0 in the UFC, but I decided to do this. They come out, and some fucking guy that's a plumber or something just knocks them the fuck out like they hit him with a wrench.
Right.
It's like, boom, good night, motherfucker. And I'll answer this question real quick. How do they decide who gets the slap first?
I guess it's a coin toss, right?
It's a coin toss, and it makes all the difference.
Yes, sure it does.
You could be a better slapper, but if you get your bell rung the right way on the first slap, even if it doesn't knock you out, but you're woozy, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're done.
You're just fucked because you're not going to have a good hard slap if you're got your head half cocked.
Yeah, you're not going to get any retaliation there at all.
No, do you ever fight drunk? You never land anything really hard.
Yeah, I thought about that this week, and I talked to my coworker about it a little bit, and he was telling me his son and his friends are really into it. Of course, they're college age kids, and I'm thinking, boy, Chris has got something fun and new in his life.
I do. I'm watching it every single week.
I'm sure you are.
I love it. They need to put out more. They need to put out behind the scenes. These guys just slapping each other in the house that they're living in or something.
Right.
That's what I want to see.
Slap each other silly.
That's right.
All right. Well, very good. Well, I'm glad you got a new pastime.
I do. Something to kill the clock, man, until I jump off this fucking mortal coil.
Sure. Absolutely.
Slap fighting.
So what else is going on in the Aiken Empire this week?
Just worky work, man. Just lots of work. I don't think I ventured out all week. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't even know.
One day just rolls into the next.
They really do, dude. And like this week is going to be all camera all the time this coming week because we're doing this tonight. Then I'm doing Seth Williams' show Monday. Then I'm doing Chris Aiken Presents Monday. Then I'm doing a walkthrough with a new show for Billy's for the studio on Tuesday. So I'll be out at the studio. Then I'll probably hang out for Billy's show Tuesday. Then Wednesday I record Toomey. Then Thursday I'm doing an interview with who am I doing an interview with? Oh, I'm doing John's show, Talking Into Infinity. And then I'm doing it, and somewhere in there, I'm also doing an interview with Brian Slagle. So it's
okay.
like...
So are you the only capable co-host on the internet?
Apparently I am, Well, I know on Seth's show, I'm talking about AI. They have the two guys, they have Seth and Mike are doing their show, but they want me to demonstrate AI. So I don't think I'm doing the whole show. I don't think so.
Right.
But I'm doing like a demo of AI for that. And then Talking Into Infinity, they're talking about the best albums of 1995, which they asked me to do like 2 months ago, but they're finally getting to it. So,
all right.
So I'm doing that. Talk to me. Hey, paycheck, my friend. Got to do that one. and Chris Aiken Presents. It's my thing. I got to do that.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess I am the only guy. I'm the only guy on the internet anymore.
Yeah, you're the only capable co-host, the only capable guy of doing a co-host gig.
That's all right. I'm a media whore anyway.
I just think it's funny.
I like being seen.
Yeah, I know. It's just the whole glomming on. It's just like, I can't find anybody capable, and Chris will carry my show.
I don't think it's that. Honestly, I hope it ain't that. I hope they're not doing it because I'll carry their show because I don't carry any show. I'm just a presence. That's it.
I guess. But well, I know what 2.5 years of your absence from co-hosting with me was like. So finding a good co-host is very difficult. Somebody who's dedicated and who can actually add to the conversation instead of just sitting there and staring blankly at this camera and has nothing to add.
Well, if I do have one characteristic, it is that I never shut the fuck up. So, I guess on that level, I can do 20 hours a week. No problem.
Well, you could be a blabbermouth all you want, but you have to be, you have to be intelligent. You have to have a good sense of humor about you. You have to, be well versed in subjects. You need to have a strong opinion about something, or have some kind of insight.
Sure.
A lot of people, as you're well aware, they're just ignorant about everything, and they can't add anything to anything. You sit there and they'll just like stare at you like they're looking through the eyes of the dead or something.
Yeah, there are a lot of shows out there that have one guy that talks, another guy that goes, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Feels like Black Metal Ray.
Yeah, there's a lot of that out there.
Oh, I know. I'm well aware. That's why it's tough to, have a good show or a show
Sure.
that's, interesting. One thing about, our good friend Eric is you found a good co-host in him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Eric's fun
because, he's obviously got a good sense of humor and he's got experience in life and he's got definite ideas and viewpoints on his own. And, he's been around and he's traveled and he's, obviously a talented musician and, he's got life experience that he's not afraid to share or bring to the table or put his 2 cents in.
Yeah. And that's been, that is kind of the thing with all the shows. Hey, I don't ever mind being on anybody's show. Anybody that ever asks me, I think I always say yes. I can't think of one time that I've ever said no. I'm game to do. Hell, there's one getting released. One of our new shows, Good Company with Bowling, that releases tonight at midnight Eastern. First guest, Chris Aiken. So I have no problem being on anybody's show, but and I have no problem helping grow this thing that we're building. Because we're so close now with the TV and the radio and everything coming together. Finally, we're so close that it's like, now it's like, if the only thing I got to do is keep showing up, well, this is what I want to do anyway. So I'll just keep showing up.
Right. Well, the thing is that, everybody, it's just tough to find, like I said, a competent co-host who can, add something to your content,
Sure.
Add something to the show because, it just kind of pulling the curtain back. And most of the old school listeners, know this about us is that, you and I don't prepare or rehearse anything. So regardless of what you throw at me or vice versa, we can pick up and run with it.
Sure. Absolutely.
No matter what it is. It could be politics, could be social, could be sports related, could be, music related, could be anything. And no matter what it is, you and I can have a conversation about it. I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a big wrestling fan or a slap fight fan or whatever.
Right.
But I know enough about it to ask questions about it to get the conversation going,
Sure. Well, and that's
pretty cool. Yeah. Cool.
And
thanks for checking out this episode of The Classic Metal Show. Get all of our episodes uncensored at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. Join us weekly from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Eastern at www.cmsradio.net. Participate in the live chat room at www.chatandkill.com. Once again, thank you for checking out The Classic Metal Show with Neeley and Chris. Hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand job.